Right, so this is the second part of working on the fireplace for a Kinosian Seaside Cottage. I made a whole bunch of the fulginate tiles for the outside of the fireplace. I haven't actually worked on the interior items yet because I just want to get this exterior roughed out so I know what I'm looking at. So first things first, this is high enough as it is. Let me see if I can land on it, because, oops, I was landed, and there. Yeah, it's kind of strange how I'm standing out in the air, but it works. Okay, so I actually already have the layout editor set up from earlier. I did place the new tiles in the moving crate and then save the layout with the tiles in the crate and load it in the editor, but I figured you guys didn't need to see that. So this one I'm going to start working on the slanted bits of the chimney, the chimney. So I need to know the location of this tile. Go to the layout editor, we'll say diff. So we have this tile by itself in the group, and I'm going to fix this to 180 because I like the round numbers. I don't like it when the game switches it to something not quite round. So then I'm going to select it and duplicate it. And so this is the new one, and we need to roll it actually. Actually, how did I do this before? I think, instead of pitching 89.94, I pitched it 45. So we'll save that and we'll load it in game and we'll see. And that's actually pitched the wrong direction, as you can see. So instead, we're going to pitch it negative 45. Go back to the game, load it, load working. So now it's angled the correct direction. But it's too low, and it's in the wrong place. So we'll go back to the layout editor, and we will raise it up one first, just so you can see what happens. Which is great if I wanted to have an overhang like that, but I don't. I want this corner right here to be right there. So I need to do a little bit of trig. Either I can do trigonometry or I can just keep guessing until I get it. And since I prefer perfect angles, we are going to use trig. So what I do know about this right here, if I'm going to imagine a triangle, and my triangle is, this is the hypotenuse, this is one leg here, it's invisible, we're pretending it's there, this is another leg here, it's also invisible, we're pretending. So we know the angle between here and here, the one leg and the hypotenuse, is 45 degrees. If we remember back to middle school and high school math, a triangle that has one angle at 45 degrees and one angle at 90 degrees means that the other angle up here must also be 45 degrees. And when you have two of these that are 45 degrees, it means the two legs are the same length. So we're going to my trusty page here, the right triangle trig calculator. Shrink that down. And so we know based on this, okay, so C right here, not like S-E-E, but C right here is this tile right here. This tile we know the length of as 2 units because, as I said in the earlier stream, to get from the center of the tile to the edge of a scale 1 tile is 1 unit. and to get from the center to the edge on the other side is 1 unit. So a full length is 2 units. So we can fill that out as 2. And we know to go from X, which is this corner, the angle is 45 degrees because we set it to that. Well, technically we set it to negative 45 degrees, but in the case of this triangle, it's the same thing. It just means whether it's facing this way or angled up the other way, like it was earlier. So, I don't think you guys can actually see my mouse right now. Well, that's not helpful. So I've been doing all this talking and you can't actually see what I'm pointing at with the mouse. Well, that's good to know for next time. Okay, so I'll just have to remember to use more words and less gestures. Anyway, there's a slight problem with putting in a length 2 for C. Because if we look at this, yay, my mouse pointer is back. If we look at this, we don't want the entire distance from here to here. We only want to move the tile from here to here. So it's actually half of the triangle right here. So the same ideas apply. This has 2 legs of the same length because it's 45 degrees here and 45 degrees here, because this didn't change at all. We just trimmed the rest of the triangle down. So we know that this is actually 1 unit because it's a scale 1 tile. So we're going to go back to the right triangle trig calculator website, and I will post the links to this site when I finish this and put up the description. Anyway, so we're going to come here and we're going to change side C to 1. Now, hundredths accuracy is pretty good for some stuff, but we're working with the layout editor, so we want no rounding because the layout editor goes to, I think, 8 decimal places. So this way we can choose our 8 decimal places and round appropriately so it's as exact as possible. So now we say calculate. Both A and B are the same, and we can see, let's see, 8 decimal places would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So everything from here to the end we don't care about because it's a 1, so it rounds down. Alright, so that's our number right there. So we're going to copy it. Going to go back to the layout editor here. And go back to the layout editor here. And we're going to paste that number into the move amount. Now we know that we need to raise it up that high because if we look at this, B, side B is our direction that we're moving in, and side A is our height that we're moving in. So A is just like Z in the layout editor, and B is either X or Y depending on which direction you're moving the item. In this case, our B is Y because we're moving it along the north-south axis because we want to move it north. See? So, back to the layout editor. So we know that we want to move it up 0.707106678, and we want to move it north. Save that. Load working, and there we go. Now, some people would consider this perfect, but I'm actually unhappy with how you can see that little lip right there. What that tells me is that I have my tile angled the wrong direction. What I need to do is first set it back to 45 degrees. And I will show you what happens here. Load working. So it flips back the other direction. Now it's facing the wrong way, so what I actually want to do is I want to rotate it. Makes sense, right? It's rotated in the wrong direction. So it's 180 here, so we're going to change the rotation to 0, because to rotate it 180 degrees is either 360 or 0 degrees there. It just spun around and that didn't work because apparently I am, oh, that just made the gap worse. Great, I did something wrong. All right, so I'm going to set this back to 180 and negative 45 and load it in the group. And okay, that's, oh. So when it completely won't work like that, what it means is, okay, first of all, I'm switching this back again because I think I figured out what's wrong. Save the group, load it. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to the original group. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to change my move amount to 180, and I'm going to hit the rotate arrow. So every single one of the other tiles rotates an extra 180. So it spins around, and that didn't work. Wow. Yeah, decorating on not enough sleep definitely is not the way to go. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. Okay. Alright, we're going to do negative 180 and rotate it back because obviously the other thing didn't work. Now we're going to go to my other group and we're going to take this one, which is the angled tile, and we're going to say yes, we do want it rotated 180, and we actually want it angled negative 135. Save group. That would work. Oops. Okay, positive 135 then. Positive 135, please work. Ha! And now it is perfectly aligned. So the edge is just a smooth, it's not a curve, it's an angle right there. Okay, well, that took a little longer than I expected because I made some mistakes, but that's all part of decorating. I am not going to work on the north side of the fireplace. I am just going to keep working on the south side until I'm finished with it. And then we will mirror it for the north side so that it's less calculations for me. Alright, so back here, I actually want this tile's location and this tile's location because I need to make the angled tile that covers right here. So we're going to say width just because I'm a little bit paranoid about not having the most recent width. Gonna do pack these two into the moving crate, say without, go to the diff button, run it, save it and load it in the game because I don't want to accidentally screw up the things I've already done. So what I want here is, well, actually what I want is a new brain because I did not need the angled tile at all. way too tired. Okay, so we just needed the straight tile. So we're going to go to this, we're going to right click and say remove from group. So this one right here, we want to duplicate it. And we knew from earlier that the height of a triangle with a tile scaled 1 is 0.707 blah blah blah. So I just pasted that back in because I still had it copied. So we know that, well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a triangle. So these numbers do not work because in order to have a triangle with a tile that actually works, you need to set pitch to 45 and roll to 90. Otherwise the tile will flip and spaz out and have issues. So there's our triangle, and it's actually, we want it rotated 180 because it should be overlapping the other tile so closely that it's shimmering. There we go. That's what we wanted. So now let's try raising it up 0.707 and moving it north 0.707. Blah blah blah. Up and north. Ooh, 7.707 was actually too much. So what I need to do is I need to divide this in 2. Alright, so 0.353553, so on and so forth. Alright, so this, now we want it still up because there's a let's just move it south for now. Normally I would have done all the calculations first, but I'm not feeling that hot. Nope. Okay, so I'm being dumb. Wow, that was really dumb. Okay, I know what I did wrong. Alright, so let's copy the east-west and the north-south of the, or the east-west and the, oh, east-west is fine, I'm sorry. The north-south and the up-down of the original tile, so it's back to its starting position. Alright, let me see if I can explain this without completely confusing everyone. So here's the center of the tile, okay? It's in line with the points. We need to raise that center up 1 tile length, right there. Okay, so the center needs to be right there before anything else happens. So we just have to raise it 1 unit. Up 1 unit. Well, first I have to select it, then up 1 unit. Sorry, we're discussing how to lay out our guild hall. We've been working on it for months and months and months, mostly because I'm lazy and, well, not lazy, but I have a lot of other things on my plate as well. And the guild hall is it's not the highest on my priority list. Okay, so what we have here now is okay, back to explaining. Okay, so this here is the center. Once again, it's lined up with the points, and it's centered on a normal tile. We actually have just this amount we need to move it. And to figure out this amount is actually pretty simple. It's 1 unit here, and to get from the center all the way to the edge was 0.707 whatever. Or not 0.707 whatever. It's 2 times 0.707 whatever. So let's actually just multiply this by 2 because I divided by 2 for this. So it's 0.707106778. Okay, that's that. Multiply it by 2 to get the full distance. It's 1.4142 whatever. So actually the distance we need to move it is, if we're subtracting 1 from it, is 0.41421356. Alright, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it here, but I have to remember to go to the front of it because I left the 1 there, so let's delete that. So now we need to move that to the west. No, not to the west, sorry. To the north. Hit to the north, save, load, and there it is, perfectly aligned. And this is why I should have done the math in the first place, because it would have been easier not to make the mistakes originally. Now, as you can see, there's a slight shimmer issue because it is perfectly aligned. So what I can do about that is I want to lower the tile by 0.00, excuse me, let's try that again, 0.002. We want it lowered. Actually, in order to do it, all we have to do is move it north 0.002. So, oh, and I have to move it west 0.002. Alright, so yeah, we need to move it west to get rid of the shimmer along that edge. There we go. Okay, so that got rid of the shimmer, and that gives us the angle right there. Now, what I want to do is put that center tile right there. So I want to say width, and I forgot that I can't actually interact with tiles while I'm flying. Please, great EQ2 devs, change that. Back in the moving crate without. And going to the moving crate or layout editor. Let's duplicate this. I want to raise it up 2 because that's how far to move it to get it next to another tile for a scale 1 tile. And I actually only want to move it north 1 because I do want it centered. So negative 45 is actually the center of this thing. Okay, so there's actually a little bit of overlap right there, but that's okay because we can just hide that with the next set. That actually looks really good. I'm happy with that. So I want to go back to this one and I want to mirror it around -45 because I just found out that that's the number. So select mirror items. Now it asks you which axis you want to mirror it on. So if you want to mirror it from this side to this side like we're doing, face the item so that it's on one of your sides. So in this case, I'm facing west. So I am facing along the east-west axis, and I want it to go from the south to the north. So the axis I want to mirror it around is the east-west axis, the one that I'm facing along. So the layout editor, that's not going to work. Oh dear, I just lost my... I can't tell if my thing is recording a... Alright, some technical difficulties here. I somehow just lost... Alright, the mirroring bit will have to be later, because I can't tell if I'm actually, if I actually have the game recording, or, oh, that's why it's not recording. It looks like my EQ2 crashed. Alright. Oh, there it goes. Apparently it got minimized somehow? I have no idea. Alright, so back to what we're working on. Wow, that was weird. Okay, so we want to mirror it. I said that. I have to move this screen onto there because I have my settings set wrong in Open Broadcaster software. So we said the axis we want to rotate it around is east-west because that's the one we're facing. So it goes around the east-west to get to the north-south. And the number we need is actually the north-south number because if we're going up and down this way, you know, south to north, we want that north-south number that's right at the west, which was -45. So we'll hit run. The layout editor pops out my new items. So I'm going to save the group, load working, and a slight issue there. Not too horrible. Okay. Maybe it is horrible because where's my missing tile? That's a first. I expected the tile to be facing the wrong direction, not to be... Oh! I'm dumb. I mirrored the bottom tile. Okay, so this one right here actually is overlapping this tile right here. So if I load it, it goes away. So I have that one there. So now what I want to mirror is this one right here. So it's going to be the same settings with pack and... For some reason I thought I had this one and this one, but I didn't. And I need to land again. Okay, pack and moving crate. Without. So now we do right click, mirror items. We said it was around the east-west axis at -45 for the north-south number. And so I expect it to be, oh, it did it perfectly this time. Sometimes it's rotated the wrong direction, you just need to rotate it 180. So this is good. So that's starting to look like a section of a chimney. It's not there yet, but it's getting there slowly. And with that, I will pause for a little bit and resume later. Thank you for watching. Hope that it was informative and I did not confuse people too badly with my sleep-deprived